Well, treatment for pregnant women is a very important issue. If an HIV-infected woman is pregnant, she will have about 1/3 risk of transmitting the virus to the baby. If she receives treatment while pregnant, and that's more or less the same treatment as everybody who are HIV infected receives with 3 drugs, then the risk of getting infected is becoming very low, and actually we haven't seen a transmission from a woman in treatment in Denmark.
Even though it was not Ophelia's intention to be tested in the first place, she's very thankful that she did today.
I started taking medication before I got sick, and I was maybe lucky I was introduced to it before I was too ill. So I've taken monotherapy for 1 year to 1995. 1995 I was introduced to another drug which came in then, so I was taking 2 drugs, 1995. By 1996 I was introduced to a 3rd drug. So in 96 I was taking 30 tablets a day.
Ove Andersen is Director of Research at Hvidovre Hospital, another place where you can be tested and get treatment. Ove Andersen has been following developments in treatment for years.
Well, it dates back to the late 80s, where some firms discovered a new product that could inhibit the virus infection. But it took at least 10 years before there was an effective treatment for HIV where we combined different tablets. So from the mid of 19th until now, there has been a really big development in the treatment.
At the beginning, Ophelia suffered very unpleasant side effects caused by the medication, but they improved along with the medication.
I think because I've had horrible side effects, the ones I have now are manageable. I think I'm not taking medication for side effects, so it means I can manage them. I can have problems with, falling asleep, but then I write, or I watch a movie, so whatever opportunity I get or side effects that makes me do something else, I find some positive about it. So when I can't sleep, I'm able to watch a film that starts at midnight. So I'm doing fine, I think. I think the hardest part is denial. I think there's nothing harder. I mean, I know side effects. Side effects are physical. You can take something for it. Deny you can't. It's a mental situation. It's a psychological situation which only me could get medication for it, meaning I could only do it myself. There was no doctor to get into this box of denial. And to actually lie to the people I loved, not to tell the people I loved the truth. I missed out a lot. I missed a lot of support, because the support I get today is just amazing. I think the worst part is denial. The side effects I could survive.
But to get into treatment, it is crucial to know your status first. The Ugandan ambassador in Denmark, therefore, recommended everyone to be tested.
It is important to know. Knowledge is power. And when you know, it is always better to seek the advice. If one is positive, then you can seek advice for treatment. If one is negative, then you can seek advice on how it can be prevented from catching the disease. And if one is positive, then treatment is advisable. And also, I think he or she can prolong his or her life longer, happily. But there is a need to consult the experts in the field.
If an HIV test turns out positive, treatment will begin at the hospital with simple blood tests.
The immune defense, we are measuring it as a CD4 counts. It's a lymphocytes, white blood cells. We are measuring them, and then if they are too low, then we offer a treatment. And the treatment is, of course, free, as every treatment is here in Denmark. One of the problems about the treatment is that if you are treating a person, an HIV positive person, that actually is not feeling ill, then you are giving the patient some side effects. And you have to explain that before you start the therapy, because compliance is crucial. Compliance and adherence to the treatment is really crucial for the patient.
For Ophelia, part of her treatment was to tell her story out loud.
My name is Ophelia Hanyama. I'm HIV positive. I realize I might not be the only one in this room who is HIV positive. So on behalf of those who are HIV positive, here and everywhere, I speak for you. I started speaking out in 1996, and the first time I spoke was in the Swedish Parliament, because I didn't think anyone knew me. You know, I could go home. There's no way a Swedish Parliament is my neighbor, so I could actually go home and disappear again. So that was the first time. But the reason for speaking usually is that I'm actually just asking for help. If anyone is out there to give me something new regarding HIV, I'm willing to take it or analyze it and accept if I have to. And I just want my family to survive. I wrote my book partly because I was doing the same fear and I think denial. I wanted to take out all those little things that I could not tell someone in the face. I wanted to write a book for my children. I wanted to leave a story for history. I can imagine when my great-grandchild reads the book and he will say or she will say, my goodness, why didn't anyone do something about this disease? I hope for that. I hope for that story. But for me, it's to make it a history and for my own therapy. That's the only reason.
Jan Gerstoft, professor and research specialist at Rigshospitalet, explains how the medication affects the body.
Well, they work to suppress the virus. We more or less put the virus to sleep so it doesn't bother the body anymore. But it is there. And if the drugs are not around anymore, it will wake up and start the same project all over again with immune system deterioration. And and a number of trials have been made in order to find out if we could just stop the treatment after a little while. But the results have been quite clear. This is not a good idea. It's permanent treatment.
Ophelia believed she only had a few years to live when she was told she had HIV. Today, she's very much alive and she has a dream.
And my dream, which I think I'll get there one day, is to have an AIDS-free world. And understand me correctly. What I'm saying is, if you're HIV positive, you don't have to have AIDS. So we should get to a point where the HIV positive people stay HIV positive, get the drugs. Maybe this is a story for the Western world. In the Western world or in the Scandinavia, you don't have to. If you can manage to take the drugs to have AIDS, you can have HIV, that's fine. But let's try to have an AIDS-free society. And we can only achieve that through working together as different sectors of society. And the HIV positive people to actually see or being known where they are. Because if you don't know, you can't do anything about it. So my work is just to get an Ophelia in every person.